You can always tell when a beginner is playing chess. Usually it's because the game is no longer worth playing. The beginner may have only a couple of pawns facing off against a rook, a bishop, and even a queen. It's like being down 50 points in a basketball game or 6 goals in a soccer match. It's the point in the game where the fans have already left the stands and are heading home. In this game you're about to see, the 6th world champion Mikhail Botvinnik pummels his opponent so viciously that even the great Muhammad Ali would have been dazzled by the punches and would have asked to stop the fight. At the beginning of every Grandmaster game you will see 2 things: pawns controlling the center and all the pieces coming out into the battle very quickly. This game is no exception. Now it looks as though black could win the c-pawn by playing pawn takes pawn, but white could just play queen to a4 check and take the pawn back on the very next move. Notice how every move so far controls the center or brings a piece into the action. White brings his king to safety. He doesn't want to get caught in the middle of the board when the real fighting begins. Now white has what's known as an isolated pawn, a pawn that cannot be protected by another pawn. You can see that all the other pawns stand side by side, ready to help each other if one is attacked. The isolated pawn is like a lonely deer that the hungry lions will go after. White will have to be very careful to keep a close eye on it. That move attacks the bishop. Knights love to be in the center of the board where they can strike out in 8 different directions. Another white piece goes to control the center. That attacks the queen. The white queen takes a position closer to black's king. Now all of white's pieces are perfectly positioned and ready to attack. The main problem is just how to aim at the black king. What would you do right now? That's a great move. The white pawn charges forward, looking to open up a line for the rook to lunge into the battle. Now all of white's pieces are circling black's position like vultures. The storm is about to break. Boom! The first lightning strikes right at the black king's residence. That move knocks out the protection from this knight. It seems like black can just take the bishop with his knight, but it's not true. Let's take a look at that possibility. Check. And white can get a big advantage by taking the rook on the next move. Let's go back to the game. Another spectacular move. White is not worried if black takes the rook because then he can whip the rook right off the board with his queen. White is crawling all over black. Now see if you can find the knockout punch. That's a devastating shot. Now the pinned rook on f7 can't move because of check, and it's also attacked by White's rook. And look who's defending, a queen and a king. They're way too valuable to give up, so black is going to lose his rook for nothing. That's like being down 5 touchdowns near the end of a football game. You can keep playing on, but there are going to be a lot of empty seats. At this point, black decided it was time to throw in the towel.